This is the first shot of the boys, and it shocked even the most prepared of us. It was created with a budget of over $10 million per episode, and I'm going to recreate it with just a few friends and my knowledge in video. Creating these effects requires a lot of work before you can actually do the CGI. So I took a few days planning, and I also needed to find actors. So I asked my friends if they wanted to play a superhero and my fictional exploding girlfriend, as well as someone for the camera. What I ended up with was the dream team. Sebastian, a legend with the camera. Johannes, equally as skilled but less happy to be in this montage. My friend Emily, playing Robin. And finally, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom. With a high amount of high-level acting experience, like when he played a bush in a school play. Wait, no, this can't be right. Whatever. I trust them with my life. I trust them. So, let's go.
Finding a shooting location was the slightest of my problems, as having a bloody guy in a superhero costume in the midst of a busy city street might be a bigger one. Which also brings me to my next problem.
I need a costume, which wasn't as easy to find as you might think, but I found one on Amazon for around 50 bucks. And I also ordered some fake blood as well as some severed hands from some Halloween thing. And the total came to about 75 bucks, which was the budget for this video. Now let's get to the shots.
So there's 6 shots in total, which I need to film in a non-chronological order. But since I don't want to bore you with the details, only 2 pose a real challenge. Shot 3 is the most difficult. While the camera pans around me in slow motion, Robin's blood hits my face and the entire exploded mass in the air is revealed. For that to work, I need to film in slow motion and with a steady motion. Luckily, I have a camera that can do 120 frames in 4K and a friend with a gimbal, which is a device that keeps the camera motion smooth. With that, Sebastian is going to pan around me while I tilt my head, and we have to coordinate perfectly with Tom, who is acting as if he just stopped running and turns around. When everything is done, I import the footage into a 3D tracking software to extract the camera motion and use it to create a virtual camera. For the simulation of the blood hitting my face, I need to do a separate track of my face to create a geometry representation of my head moving in 3D space.
Doing all of this is a tedious process. It requires going back and forth quite a lot to correct slipping tracks. But once we are done, we're ready to simulate.
One simulation for the blood hitting my face, and a few for the blood and the bones floating in the air, which simulated for almost 10 hours. And I had to do that at least 20 times, correcting and adjusting stuff until I was happy. And you would think after that, all that simulating and waiting would have an end.
But no, not in 3D.
In 3D, it doesn't work like that. Next, I have to surface everything, because up until now, I only have simulated points, but I need to convert them to an actual geometry surface so that I can render everything. Sounds a bit complicated, but doing this each time took about 25 seconds per frame, and I had 1007 frames. You do the math. Just kidding, I did the math and it comes to about 7 hours. Now that this is done, winter is already over and the flowers are already starting to bloom, but we are finally ready to render the biggest shot. For the render, I use a location scan, which I did on set with my phone to help with scale as well as to serve as a shadow catcher. And I also did a 360-degree image, which is projected onto the inside of a big sphere around the scene to light it based on where the image is bright and where the image is dark. After rendering, there's compositing. That's what it's called when you combine all the elements, namely the footage and the 3D elements, as well as making some tweaks to them. On this shot, I removed the car, replaced the window and license plates, added the 3D elements, adjusted the color and added motion blur, as well as depth blur when the camera focuses on me. At the end, I added some grain to bind it all together. And now, the second, smaller difficult shot. A-Train runs away. Here he leaves a bit of destruction on the ground and blows over a trash can. Filming my friend running away is easy enough. but getting him to look like he has super speed is not as straightforward as you might think. If you just speed up the video, the surrounding would move faster too. This is not a huge problem in this shot, as there isn't much moving around him anyway. But the second problem is that it wouldn't have the proper motion blur. So what I have to do is remove Tom from the shot when he starts running in super speed and add a motion blurred version of him back in. Then I add the destruction and the trash can, which I also simulated and rendered, and we're done. I'm gonna skip all the repetitive stuff I did on the smaller shots, and I want to give a quick thanks to you for watching. This video took a lot of work and time, and I want to keep doing these high effort videos with even cooler and more insane ideas. So if you would like to see that and support me, you can check out my Patreon. I will be posting exclusive behind the scenes and some ideas and tips I find while working on upcoming videos. And without further ado, here's the final scene.
Don't you ever besmirch me. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Robin?
Don't you ever besmirch me. I can't stop.
Robin?
Some final thoughts I have after finishing the video would be that next time I shouldn't forget the leaf blower in the other car. That would have made a huge difference. I could have used it to make my hair look like the shockwave was hitting me. But what did you think? Did it come any close to the original? And what scenes should I recreate for the next one? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.